Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Hard Rock Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rock Sports Studios in beautiful, scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 3-hour weekly get-together. We bring you the biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And guys, it's a bittersweet week. We've had great football last weekend. We've had some great baseball. Good, say good and bad. If you're a Met fan, not so good. The Yankees seem to be back. Some great wins for the Yanks, and we had a home run chase, boy. If we ever didn't, we do now. That's for sure. Aaron Judge at 57 with about 20 games left. It's going to be some exciting times. We had some good football last weekend, some bad football. We'll get to all of it tonight, but it's a little bit sweet for me, and I'm going to dedicate tonight's show with the approval of my partner in crime. In fact, his idea, Mr. Jeff Towinski. I'm going to dedicate tonight's show to my little man, Pico, who passed away this week. And I shouldn't say passed away. He had to be put to sleep, unfortunately. This is a picture of him as a baby. This was him as a little guy. This is probably one of the first days I brought him home. And this is somewhere along the line. And, of course, this is probably him in his peak. And that was Pico. And that's my man right there. And I want to show another picture that I have of him. Let me see where it is. Old male. Let's see. Is this the right one? Nope, that's not the right one. Let's see. Go back. And I apologize to everybody. It's a little slow start, but I wanted to get this in. And that's Pico, unfortunately, about 2 hours before he passed away. And his mom was trying to feed him. And unfortunately, this is how he left us. And again, I've never been through this with one of my two dogs. My parents have lost a couple of dogs, 3 as a matter of fact. And while it hurts and you feel terrible because you love them, it's not as the same as when they're your guys. And I'm used to coming home to Pico and Lucas and the yelling and the barking and 2 angry dogs and yelling at them. But I'll miss Pico for forever. He's my guy, and unfortunately, this is what kidney failure. 4 years we kept him. My wife did a great job keeping him alive, and his kidneys failed about a month. We didn't know it, and he I don't know if he suffered, but he wasn't doing well. But he managed, and he ate his coconut bars. He loved his coconut ice cream bars. And his treats, and he ate, and everything right till the end. And just that last day, he had nothing left, I guess, and it was time to go home. And hopefully someday I'll get to be with him again. But in the meantime, I just wanted to dedicate tonight's show, and I thank Jeff for letting me do that. Whew, sorry, guys, I'm a little emotional. But I promise we'll get to the rest of the show. But this show will be dedicated to Pico. And he's my guy. And let's kick it in. All right, let's thank you all for indulging me. I hope there's people listening. I'll put his picture up a couple times during the night, but I won't leave it up there because that'll be too sad for everybody. So again, thanks, Guy, for joining us as we continue our Thursday nights at the Hard Rock and Sports Show. So without further ado, let me bring all the different things onto the screen that I should have done. Sorry, guys. I just a little emotional. Let's see, banners. Let's get all the banners up there, and there it is. So, without further ado, let me bring on the backbone of the Hard Rock Sports Show, my buddy, Mr. Jeff Towinski. What's up, Hefe?
What's going on, man?
How are you, pal?
All right. I heard everything you said about your dog, man. I'm terribly sorry for what happened. It sucks.
Yep.
It sucks for a lot of reasons, but because each one is so different.
Absolutely.
You can never replace it. You could try, but it'll never be replaced.
No, I have to be honest with you, Jeff. I'll never say never. We have another dog. We have Lucas. He's been with us 11 years now. He's 11 and a half years old. We've had him since he's 6 months old. We've promised each other, my wife and I, that, God forbid something happens to Lucas, we will definitely take a break. If not, she says never. I'll say never. I will never say never. I'll just say we'll definitely take a break. But, you can't compare. Those. You have pets like them. You come home and every night they greet you like it's the first time they ever saw you, and it's just the best feeling.
Yes, it is.
So, but
Yes, it is. They're happy to see you no matter what's going on.
Yeah, unfortunately, I will have to get through life without him, and he'll just be my fond memory, and he'll be my guy, and just we'll always have that. I see you do it all the time with your posts about Stewie, and your remembrances, and I know exactly how you feel at this moment. I probably didn't quite know. I do now.
He I don't know. We think about him all the time, and he pops up as a Facebook memory and stuff. But he was a big part of what happened with me and Sharon. We met, and then we would get married, and we got him, and we had him for a while, and the thing that bothered me the most is he was never outside without a leash on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I always would have liked to have had him, like when we bought this house. Now we're in with the yard. That he could have went outside and ran around with no leash on. I never did that, and I remember it was like the day before he died, and he was outside and he was just standing there, and he would like flop down. And I took the leash off of him, and I stood there with him for a minute. And, just let him hang out, but it wasn't the same. He wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, we took the dogs a couple times to the dog park and let them run, and it was, I don't know, maybe maybe overprotective, but you're in there. There's a bunch of dogs. You're worried, who's gonna bite them? Maybe he's gonna go after somebody. It was never comfortable. We never had the yard where we could just let them run free. But they managed, and they like I said, I tell my full time, we gave them great life. We gave them a great life. That's all we could do, and just it'll be a memory, and it'll I guess it'll get easy. I don't know. It's still
it will.
Fun.
It will. It sucks, and you'll think about him for a long time.
Yeah.
But it'll get better. But I got a surprise for you.
Oh boy, go ahead. What's your surprise, man?
All right. Well, I'm holding something in my hand.
Okay, let's see what you got.
Well, if you can guess what it is, I was hoping to wait that Mike Weissman would come on.
Well, again, I know he sent you out a trial sample of our official or soon to be official fragrance.
Yeah, and here it is.
Oh, and when we were on the phone the other night, I meant to ask you if you had gotten it and what you thought. So I'll ask you on the air.
I have it right here, and I purposely waited.
Okay.
I would like to. I don't know if Mike is going to be coming on.
Oh, he usually does. We usually see him and him and Joe
talk about it when it comes on. But this is the beard oil, and this is the size container it comes in. So I guess that's maybe an ounce or two. I don't know. But,
a couple ounces, sure.
This one has a heavily scent of leather.
Okay.
Peach, and I believe apple.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, and it's nice. Usually when I use this at night before I go to bed. Sometimes I'll put it like a little bit bigger than a pea-sized dab on my hand. I rub it in, and then I just take it and go like this and massage it in there so it gets to the skin, and then just brush the beard, and it smells really good, and it works well. It's nice. They is the other one. They have some really cool products, and because I told my wife, I says, you pick one out that you want me to smell like, because she's the one that smells it more than I do.
Sure. And
I was talking to Mike on the side about it, and he sent her a blueberry, a thing of this size, a blueberry hand cream.
Oh, very nice.
Body lotion, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, which she loves. She loves it. And then she sent out, she made this, of course, this picture with like she has one of these little gnomes. She got me one for last year. Although her gnome at work has a better beard, I think. I think he needs some stuff in his beard. This guy.
He might need a little product.
Yeah, he may need some products. But she made a thing where it was like, like a little advertisement.
Oh, yes, I saw it. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yes, I did see it. Yes, I did see it. Well, thank you to the boys at Hemp Wizard Beer Care Co. Two guys we've never met, who I have the ultimate respect for, and hopefully someday we'll get Jeff and I'll get to meet with them. share a beer. First, I love Mike's food.
I don't know if these are beer drinking folk.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, it's not really my thing, so we'll have to settle on beers. But
I'll volunteer. Don't you worry.
I gotcha. But they are big supporters of our show. And if I could ever say we have a corporate endorsement, that would be from those guys. They are great guys, and I can't swear by their products other than to say my partner Jeff, who is a tough sell, loves their stuff.
Oh yeah, I love it, man. Makes my beard nice and soft. You want to laugh?
Yeah.
I ordered last week. I ordered my usual flavor or usual scent, which is Cushman's.
Okay.
Okay, which is really good. Nice fall scent, I guess. They said it was Christmas, but I don't know. I'm going to lean more towards a fall, wintry scent. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
The order got a little mixed up, and I didn't want to say anything. But they ended up sending me like all of this oil, plus my wife's thing. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But I got to get some more of this stuff for my beard itself that I put on in the shower. I usually wash my face and then put that on. Put a little in there, lather it up, let it sit there for a few minutes, and then continue on with washing the rest of my fat ass.
Well, that's if there's ever been an endorsement of a product, that's it right there. Yeah. Fat ass. So, hey, please make sure you reach out to the guys at Beard, Hemp Wizard Beard Care Co., not only for their line of beard care products, but their skin lotions and all the stuff that will make you smell and feel nice. With the holidays coming, Jeff, and they're right. Then we're knocking on the door of the holidays. You can't do better than those guys. And I will be purchasing some stuff. And it seems like I think it's the Sunday Audible show. We'll have is it Sunday Audible scent, or is that going to be a Hard Rocket Sports scent?
That is for Sunday Audible.
Okay, so the Sunday Audible will have its own line of beard care products, and we'll be selling them, I guess, through the boys. And I would say that I will buy some and distribute out to people to get it out there to all the people in my life with beards, and let's see if they how they feel about it. But Jeff, we got a show to do. We have dawdled long enough. We've had a great week of sports. If you wanna talk about good weeks, football's back. We got great baseball for both local teams. Hockey's around the corner if we care about hockey, but lots of good stuff. The football season has sprung, Jeff, and lots and lots to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I just want to go over something. Somebody shot something across my bow earlier today.
Go ahead.
That I received a text message or an inbox, actually.
Okay.
And I quote, "I know it's early in the season,
but
here is a quick synopsis of what I have already seen. The Jets still suck. Their coach is a man baby, and he can't coach." Now,
sounds like a smart guy.
Now, far be it from me to say anything, but the person that wrote that probably will not rear his head and own that comment. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you fucking dick.
I will rear my head.
I'm coming right now, all over you. I'm not giving you a chance today, and I don't know what you got planned, but I got to say it. I got to get it off my chest.
Go ahead.
Brian Daboll.
Yep.
Am I pronouncing that right, by the way?
Daboll's right. Go ahead.
Okay.
Or the Bulls. If you
went for 2 in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
I am so mixed about it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with you. I have to be honest with you. My first thought process when I saw it was,
what the fuck are you doing?
You got to play for one here. You got to come out here with a chance to win this game. Then just before the snap, I hit my wife, it's gutsy. I like it. And I'll tell you what, and if they had thrown that to any other back on their team, it never would have worked. Saquon Barkley was playing like he did 3 years ago, and he made 2 guys miss, made a great move, ran over another guy, and the execution worked. And I'll give Daboll credit. It's a great gutsy call for a team that needed desperately to have a win. When I first saw the lineup, I went, "What the hell? What?" But
when they started saying that the offense was staying on the field,
yeah,
I thought to myself, I was like, first of all, this guy's insane. That's one thing. Yeah. Second of all, if it doesn't work, he's going to get ripped apart.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And that's it. He might as well just fucking resign.
100%. Yeah. He would get torn up. Every newspaper, every Monday morning quarterback would have ripped him apart. His team would have loved him, but that would have got him nowhere but an 0-1 start.
Third, he showed that this is not the same team and the same leadership. And I think it just goes to show how bad of a coach I'm only going after one game now. So please, let's get a bigger body of work before we say this. But it's showing that he's definitely not Shermer or Judge and how conservative those coaches were.
I agree with you.
And I like the idea that he went for 2 only because it worked. He almost lost it, but
would you have said if let's say Barkley gets stopped or they drop the ball or somebody knocks it down, what would you have said today? Honestly and truly, would you have said, "Hey, I love the call, just didn't work"? Would you have said, "Hey, it's a good idea, but you probably should have did something different"? What would you think your reaction would have been Monday morning or on the show today?
You only love the call when it works, Tom.
I agree with you.
You never love the call when it don't work. So I'd have to say I'd be questioning it. I still question. This is why I question it. Okay, first game of the season. Okay, you might have. Who knows what would have happened? But you definitely would have walked out of there with a tie at that moment in time if you kicked the extra point.
Okay,
and you still would have had a chance to win. I'm not going to say that they made the bad decision because it worked for them.
Sure.
Okay, but it could have backfired. They could have lost. They was one kick away from losing that game.
Oh, listen, I agreed, but I'll say this: after watching it, I watched the whole game, and after thinking about it, what I loved about it was the differences. You saw a stark difference in this Giant team philosophy than you have the last few years. It was, be aggressive. You love the way the offensive line worked. What I really loved was the fact that they went out at halftime, Jeff, and made a bunch of changes. The first half, it looked like the same old tired Giant team. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't get anything rolling. And then it came out at halftime. They made a bunch of adjustments, and both sides of the ball, they just played a ton better. And that's what impressed me, and that's what gives me some hope that this Giant team isn't going to the playoffs. Probably certainly isn't going to win a Super Bowl this year, but that they're headed maybe in the right direction.
Well, listen, let's be honest. It is one game. Okay,
absolutely.
They're also playing a team in the Tennessee Titans, which I don't think is the same team they were a year ago, 2 years ago. Definitely not. But with a little belief behind you, every time that these Giants get a win, it's going to make them think that, okay, we won last week, we could win this week. This was a team that they played that was a division winner last year.
They were the number one seed in the AFC. They were the number one seed last year going into the playoffs.
Yeah, a Super Bowl contender. And here they are. They come out, a team that's, nobody really knows how many games they're going to win. We didn't give them that many games to win this year.
No.
I think their over-under on them is 7 or 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're not talking a division winner. But then again, with Dallas, I will say, with Dallas going through what they're going through, who knows at this point in time.
Yeah, I think the division is – I still think the division
a little bit more wide open than it once was.
A little bit more, probably looking at you're probably looking at the Eagles as the favorite right now.
She was born to care.
You know what I mean? You probably look at the Eagles as the favorite right now. But, yeah, you're right. It's definitely more wide open. I want to show you what I think is the biggest difference on this team from last year or years past. Let me show you a quick video. I want to get my dad on. But let me do this real quick, and then we'll get my pops on to talk. But I want to show you this. I don't know if you got to see this hit live or afterwards or whatever. But let me show you something. This was a hit in the Giant game that night. Hold on 1 second.
I can tell you, I did not see this.
Okay.
This was early. I was not watching it at that point in time.
Man, what the hell? That's not what we wanted here. Hold on a second.
If it was 10-0 at that time, I didn't.
Let me bring that back. Let me bring the screen up and let me play it for you. So that's the hit on Derrick Henry that changed his whole game. Now here's a guy who never gets hit like that. Let me rewind that one more time, Jeff, because here's a guy who punishes people. And watch the hit. Boom. Now watch it up close. That is a man-sized hit. That was the difference with this Giant team that we haven't seen in a long time.
Well, listen, you're not talking about a Derrick Henry in his prime either at this point in time either.
No, listen, most people would say he's a top 2 or 3 running back in his league still. What's up, Mike? There's your boy Mike Weissman popping in.
Mike Weissman, yes. We were just going over the new signature scent. Oh, I'm sorry that you missed it. We did the unveiling.
Yes.
And let me tell you, I explained to Tommy what it smells like with hints of leather and peach and
apple.
Very good. Do I smell a little scotch in there too? Maybe. It smells good.
Don't drink it, please.
No, I won't be drinking that, man.
Hot Rockets boys, Jeff and Tom. Jeff's checking out the new set, probably, I believe, for our Sunday show, the Sunday Audible.
Yes, the Sunday Audible. Matter of fact, now that Mike is here, I don't know if he's still with us or if he just came in real quick to say hello. Okay. We need to come up with a name for this, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, we have to name it?
Yes, we're going to name it.
Okay.
You're going to name it. So I would like later on in the week, we'll figure something out.
All right. We'll get John involved and throw some names around for it.
Yeah. And then we'll get back to you, Mike, if you don't mind, with a name.
Yep.
To reflect the show, which I think will be cool.
Yeah. And also, just so everybody remember, before I forget, I'm going to bring my dad on now. But the show not only is on Facebook and YouTube, we are now on LinkedIn. That's right. You can go on. You can get if you have a LinkedIn account, it's tied to my LinkedIn page, and we are now on 3 different places. And for the record, we are officially no longer on Blog Talk Radio, and we all our shows are saved from the past, but we are no longer broadcasting on Blog Talk Radio anymore. But our last, just for the record, for our last numbers. Our numbers were huge in Canada. I don't know who's listening to us up in Canada, but we were actually our number 1 place was Canada, and we were up in Japan, of course in the motherland in Israel. We were at 14s, our highest. So real thank you to everybody who listens to us through the radio. Unfortunately, I put that account on hold right now. But we are still on 3. We have 3 ways to find us: LinkedIn, YouTube, or on Facebook. So thanks for everybody.
Is it LinkedIn for people to know what they're doing?
Yeah, I guess so. They're professionals and all that. But I figured I'd type that. There's other stuff, and I'm
like doctors and lawyers and shit.
It could be a little bit of everything. But let's get my dad on. He's been hanging in a while. I want to see what he's got to say, and then we'll kick off the show. We'll talk about the Jets, the Giants, the NFL in general. We got the Yankees. Judge at 57 homers. We got lots to talk about. Let's get my dad on. What's up, Bob?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up there, Mr. Floro?
Very good, Jeff. How you doing?
Good,
I like
good.
That's nice, dude.
You see, I see how long it is.
I can see the whole thing. Wow. I'm surprised they don't give you a problem at work because you're around machinery.
Nah, they don't give a fuck. They probably want my head to get dragged in. No problem.
Yeah. And Tommy, I saw your thing about Pico, and
yep.
I mean, you all know. So
yeah, we know that. We know.
We know how we.
Yes, I know.
But the game, I got to tell you, the game was very interesting. The Giants, and I agree with what you said, Jeff. Had they missed it, but I gave them. I thought he was crazy when he was doing it, going for the 2 points.
Yeah.
But when you're the Giants, you have to take chances.
Yeah.
And if they would have not done it, if they would have missed it, they'd be tearing them apart, and we would have said he was stupid for doing it. But
I agree. And listen, but you know what? I think he changed, Jeff. I think he changed the entire. Now again, it could go away with a loss to Carolina this week at home, but he changed the whole outlook for people and their thoughts of the New York Giants.
Definitely, without a doubt, because now you don't know what they're going to do. They're not going to be known as a wild card, but they're going to be known as a team that's willing to take the chance, willing to do what it takes to win. And I'll tell you, I like that in a coach. I really do. But like we said earlier, if it didn't work,
it's a whole different thing.
It will be a completely different discussion.
100%.
But let it be said, a team like the Giants, that's probably not going to make the playoffs, like you said.
Yeah.
They need to make their mark on the league and show the rest of the league that they're not just going to be doormats.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's here's the thing. Where most people would look at the beginning of the schedule and go, you hope you win one of three. Now people are going, well, they can win the first 4 games. Listen, let's not change things around. The Giants still, it was 5 sacks, 8 penalties, 2 turnovers. They won a football game and they outplayed the Titans in the second half, Pops. But this is not a team that's ready on the doorstep to win big games.
Yeah, but Tommy, you know why you can tell it's a different team. Last year, the year before, that game they would lose. They would have lost.
Oh, 100%.
That's
100%.
the difference between a good team and a piece of garbage team. This was last year. They would have lost the game. It's like the Jets.
Listen.
I hate to say it. I like the Jets. I'm a Giant fan. I like the Jets. But I cannot understand why Flacco was in the game. Why was he playing?
You know what? I don't disagree with you. I after what I saw of Mike White at the end of the couple times he played last year, after the first game, Mike White was a disaster, and I think they're going to play him this week. To be honest with you, because I think Joe Flacco showed, other than
they already said Flacco starting.
Is he? Did they announce it? I didn't see it. I thought they would go to Mike White this week, but listen, you know what? I think if you're the Jets, you should be happy with a couple things. First off, I thought they did a great job on defense. I thought they played a great defensive game. I think they fell apart at the end, but they played that. That's a much better defense this year than I've seen in the past. The other thing I say about them is their attitude is different. And we're going to get to Jeff and I are going to talk a lot about the coach and some of the things he said this week, and I disagree with some of it. But I think it's a different Jet team once the kid comes back. Now, listen, they still have some issues on the offensive line, too many drop passes. But having said that, I still think if you're a Jet fan, you're going to be looking at a much better product this year. Maybe not a lot of wins, but much better product.
So they had a game that was within reach, and they let it slip away.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, but
you got to think of it this way. There's too many for years. Everybody's been saying they don't play 4 quarters. They play 3 quarters. They play 3.5 quarters. They don't play 4 quarters.
Yeah,
they never have, and they never will. Until it changes, this is the same old Jets.
Well, here's the problem I have with that game. Joe Flacco cannot throw the ball 59 times in a game.
No,
I agree with you.
I don't care the game.
Yeah, see, to me, here's the problem that I have with it. I know they were down and they had to throw the ball more, but if I was Coach Saleh, I would have said, guys, we don't have a lot of chance to win this game. Let's run the ball and almost use it as a practice. Let's go out there. We got good running backs. We think our offensive line is pretty good. But to put Joe Flacco back there to throw the ball 59 times, now he completed 37 passes. The problem is his receivers dropped a handful of passes. He had a wide open touchdown to Michael Carter. He dropped it. So to me, I would have just ran the ball a lot more and worked on things for the future. And unfortunately, I thought he did a bad job that way. But let's stay with the Giants for a few seconds, Dad. But again, now instead of being all right, they're 0-1. Here comes week 2. We're gonna what are gonna happen? You're actually, as a Giant fan, I'm excited for this week's game.
I have to agree with you. You're going to find out because people could say, and you could think it too, that they came in and they caught Tennessee by just relaxing.
Oh, sure,
thinking it was a walkover. And
absolutely.
So you have to see. Go ahead, Jeff.
I don't think Tennessee is the team they were last year. I think it was a combination of the Giants inched up a little bit, but I think a lot of it had to do with Tennessee falling down a little bit.
Oh, I would agree with that.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Listen, Tannehill wasn't the same quarterback last year. I don't think he's a great quarterback now. No. I think the defense is okay. And if I saw what I saw Sunday, is Derrick Henry, to your point, Jeff, is Derrick Henry still the same big, tough running back that we've seen in years past? The Giants held him in check this week. So, we'll see. We all say there's been no preseason. So at this point, these first 3-4 games may be the real preseason.
Well, let's hope that both these teams get a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. Pop, real quick, what do you think of Judge? 57 with 20 games left.
Well, I said to you the other day, I give him a lot of credit for the simple reason that when Roger Maris broke the record, he was playing on the 61 Yankees.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that's the best team I ever saw play. So even when Mantle wasn't playing, okay, he had a great team. So it was very hard to pitch around him. Where Judge is playing with a team
there's a stat where he was not intentionally walked at all that year.
I don't know about.
I gotta go back and look that up. I'm almost positive I read that during that season, because Mantle hit behind him, he was never intentionally walked.
Ownership wanted the opposite. They wanted Mantle in front, and they wanted him in the back. Yeah. And Ralph Houk, to his credit, wouldn't let it happen. But I give him credit. I give Judge a lot of credit because you could see a lot of these guys. Some of they're not directly walking him, but they're giving him garbage to hit.
Sure.
And if he does anywhere near the record, I give him a lot of credit for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going to get there. I'll be honest with you. 20 games left, unless he takes a lot of time off, which I don't see, or they start pitching around him. I think he'll. I don't know if he's hitting 66, but I think he'll get there. I think he'll get there.
I think a lot of the pitchers want him to break the record.
Well, they want to see.
Baseball needs him.
Well, here's the thing. I look at it. If you're a major league team, listen. If you're Tampa Bay or a team that needs to win a game because it's a playoff berth, then you're going to go out there and play it the right way. But if you're Boston, they're 16 and a half games out, and I'll give credit to Alex Cora. There was a spot last night in the Yankee game where everybody thought he was going to walk Judge, and he said pitch to him. Yeah. And I think that most teams who are not involved do not want to be labeled.
That's really creepy.
Yeah. So to me, go out there, pitch to the guy in the Now, if you're a team that needs to win, you're playing for a playoff spot and you're trying to win a game, then you go play the game the right way and they'll let the chips fall when they may.
There should be no change in the way the game is played. I feel just pitch to the guy, and that's it. They move them up in the lineup. All right. I think with 20 games left, he has a chance to go after the major league record. All right. He hit 2 home runs in a game just the other day. If he, as far as taking time off, if I was the manager, I would turn around and tell him, the next day that you have off is when the season ends. You're not taking any time off.
Well, I agree.
We're going to get you as many chances to get his home runs. You got to figure 20 games left, 5 at-bats a game figure, because he's leading off. You're talking 100 at-bats.
Yep.
Maybe more, depending if games going to over.
I would say you're looking at
whatever
between 60 and 80 at-bats. You figure 3 to 4 a night if you're.
No, he's going to get. If he's leading off, he's getting 4 to 5 at-bats.
All right, it's rambunctious, but okay. If you want to give it to him, go ahead. Give him 80
but I mean, listen, you got a chance to make history. You're not taking off.
Yeah,
we don't care.
I know. I'd be very shocked.
I'll tell you the truth. I think it would be the opposite. I think he would never want a night off. I think they're going to want to say, "Hey, we got to get you into the playoffs fresh. You need to take a night off." And I think he's going to be the one to say, "You're out of your mind. I'm playing every day." And
the best I would do is, as far as a night off, is make him DH.
Yeah, I agree. I think you'll see that. That's especially when Bader comes back. You'll have a couple players that can play the outfield. I think that is probably the way he'll get his time off. Jeff, you're right. Especially, if you get down to the last game or two and he's still 4 or 5 out, you might sit him. But short of that, he's going to play every night.
Listen, when Major League Baseball starts, it starts in April and it doesn't end till October. 162 games. When we were all kids, school used to end in June and didn't pick back up again until September.
Right.
We played more than 162 games in about 8 weeks.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Okay? We were out there in all kinds of heat, all kinds of scratches, scrapes, everything. These guys could do it. Plus, they're getting millions of dollars, and they were in a lot better shape than we were when we were kids.
Right. I remember we used to play that. The only time we stopped when they hit the ball and you couldn't see it no more.
Yeah.
And all you'd hear is bloom when it landed on the ground.
Or it rained.
Or it went right past your ear.
Or the cards wouldn't let you go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I know you.
Thanks, Pops. Hey, we're on for tomorrow night, Pops. My wife will give you a call on the way home from work.
Okay, good. This way I know what to do. All right, good enough. All right, Jeff, take care. Say hello to your family for me.
I will, Mr. Florio.
Take care, Pops.
Bye.
That's my dad. Checks in every week with us. We love having him on. And thanks for everybody stopping by tonight. It's Jeff and Tom here on the Hot Rocket Sports Show here every Thursday night, 7 o'clock till about 9:30. and we're happy that we to be talking sports with you. And sit back, relax, and we got plenty to talk about. Let's move over to the Jets for a few minutes. I want to come back to the Giants, but I do want to talk a little bit the Jets. And let me get your reaction, Jeff. Now, I don't know how much of the game you watch. I know you worked on Sunday, so I don't know how much of the game you actually watch, highlights, whatever.
Well,
I watched.
want to say one thing about
Sure.
Flacco and his 59 pass attempts.
Go ahead.
All right, I had a look and see what the story was, what was going on with the rushing. They did 17 rushes, and they ended up getting 83 yards with Carter rushing 10 times with 60 yards. No touchdowns on the ground.
Right.
His longest run was for 22 yards. He averaged 6 yards a run.
Okay.
Hall, 6 times for 23 yards, respectable 3.8.
Mm-hmm.
And Flacco went nowhere, carried once and didn't get a yard.
Right.
These guys are supposed to be good. You know, they're supposed to be better than they've had in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I would have tried to, you know, it gives them the chance to hold on to the ball.
Agreed. I would have ran the ball a ton. Yeah, I agree with you.
And just watching, what's his name, Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He ran the ball 6 times, got 17 yards. So, they did a good job. They ran, overall, Baltimore ran the ball 21 times for 63 yards.
I thought their defense was playing really well, Jeff. I thought they tackled well. They covered well. I thought I did not feel like they were out of the game until much later in the game. So I agree. I think if you're a Jet fan, I didn't like the offense. We'll chalk it up to Flacco quarterbacking. I thought the offensive line wasn't as good as it could have been. That Font had a terrible game.
That's the problem right there. I think it's the offensive line, Tom. I really think that was a hindrance for them.
I agree. Now, here's what we'll say. Is it a hindrance because Flacco stands back there and is a totem pole, and the teams are just teams are just going full out to get him? Are we hoping that maybe when Zach Wilson comes back and he's a little more mobile, teams have to spread out a little bit more and you don't have the same problem? I don't know. All I know is the offensive line was not good. Font had a terrible game. Pass blocking. Run the ball, they did a decent job.
I would be worried about Zach Wilson coming back, and if they say that like he's good to go after week 3,
right?
And that's so now week 4 he's starting. Is he 100% that you're putting him out there? I understand you want to try to save the season.
Yeah,
I understand all of this stuff that you're going to say. He's a football player. He's supposed to be out there and everything else. But this is 2 years in a row that he injured a knee,
right?
And one of them wasn't even touched. If this is the guy that we're going to base everything on for the future, you got to make sure that this guy is 100%, because if the Jets aren't going to the playoffs, hold him out until he is 100% ready. You're still going to have a body of work on him.
Yeah.
I think a big problem this week was the offensive line. Okay. Flacco is 37 years old. Once again, you decided to hold on to a quarterback that's, pushing 40.
Yeah.
His best years are behind him. He's already been let go by the Super Bowl champions, the Ravens, from a few years back. He went to Denver, I believe, and now he went to Philly, and now he's back on the Jets. That, listen, the guy is old. What do you think is going to happen to him?
Yeah.
Plus that offensive line is in total flux.
I would agree with you 100%. I think that there were some good things with the running game. I thought they did a decent job. They did not pass protect well. He threw the ball 59 times, so that means they were just pinning their ears back to the Ravens and coming after Flacco where they knew there was going to be. They dropped passes. He completed 37 passes of 59. It's not terrible, but they didn't show up on the scoreboard, and they just looked dysfunctional. So there was a lot of bad on the offensive side of the ball. And I agree with you. If you're counting, if you want to know if Zach Wilson is your guy, then you need to sit him down until he's 100%. Don't put him out there where he's not playing up to 100% capacity, and then have to try to figure out if he's your guy the following year and going forward.
Yeah, I just want him to be, before you put him out there, just make sure that he's good. Make sure that he's okay.
Yeah.
You don't want him to go out there, play one quarter, and then find out that that's it.
Yeah.
He came back too soon. He tore something. He hurt himself.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's what's going on in Dallas, which we'll get to later, Jeff. I think that there was initial reports that Dak Prescott would be out 6 to 8 weeks, and now Jerry Jones doesn't put him on injured reserve, and they're thinking he's going to be back in 3. I think what you don't want, and Dallas, I think, is desperate for not to have a bad season, But if you're the Jets, you can't roll into that same theory. You have to make this kid 100% so he can lead your team one way or the other, good or bad. And you know at the end of the year, you got the right guy or you don't.
Dak Prescott, whether you like him or not, whether you like the Cowboys or not, doesn't matter. Is a playoff caliber quarterback. He's been to the playoffs more than once.
Agreed. I won't argue that. Yeah.
Just because he doesn't win in the playoffs doesn't mean anything. He's still gotten to the playoffs.
100%.
Dak Prescott is a division-winning quarterback.
Agreed.
Okay, so you have that on his side.
Yep.
Zach Wilson, has done nothing. And when they say, well, he was last 5 games, he didn't turn the ball over. Yeah, but 7 of 12 is for 78 yards is not.
You're
numbers.
barely managing the game. You're barely managing the game.
Yeah. So to me, I agree with you 1,000%. You got to make sure that he's good for himself, for the team, for the coaches and the general manager.
Everything. It's your future. It's your future. Here's your number 1 pick from last year. You want him out there 100%. And if he goes out there and shits the bed, then you have to start questioning if he's your guy. If he goes out there and plays well, he plays well, but you don't want him to go out there and play badly or play okay and then wonder, well, if he was healthy, would he be better? You got to know. So I agree. If it takes 5 games, 6 games, or 10 games, he needs to be out there when he's 100% ready to play football.
I agree. And I'll tell you this, playing Cleveland this week with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, you have a chance to walk in there and get a victory. You have to play it right. You gotta be patient. Flacco could go toe-to-toe with Brissett. I think Flacco may actually be the better of the 2 quarterbacks at this point in time.
I would agree. I'm not high on Brissett. I agree.
Only because of football knowledge.
Sure.
Not because of his ability.
No.
Brissett probably has more sport athletic ability, but I mean, just because of the knowledge that Flacco has,
right?
Just let the guy go out there and play the game and rely on the run game, man.
Would you consider, because of the way the offensive line played, going to a Mike White instead of Flacco? So you got a guy who's not stationary in the pocket, who's not, and has had some success. I mean, the guy had a couple decent games last year. Would you give it some thought if you were Coach Saleh, or do you say, hey, I want the veteran guy to lead me through this for a few weeks?
I think if you're Saleh, you have to turn around and you have to say to yourself, this is my team. I'm not going to be swayed by fans or media. This is who I want to play. This is who I think gives us the best chance to win.
Yeah.
I have to go with him. I can't worry about what the fans are saying and what everybody else is saying. I will say this, okay? I firmly believe that if it goes down and the Jets lose and Flacco has a game similar to what he had in week 1, that Mike White will be starting in week 3. But now the bad thing is what happens if Mike White comes out and ends up winning this game week 3? Now you got to start him in week 4. Now let's say he has another big game in week 4, and what's his face is ready. Wilson is ready. Now you're faced with a decision. Do you go again and say let White play again? And then what happens if White goes out and has 3 killer games in a row? Then what do you do with Flacco?
Yeah, again, I think these are all questions. If one of them both, there was a question on sports radio last week where what happens if the Jets are 3-1 when Zach Wilson comes back? Do you play him or do you ride the wave? And I thought it was an interesting question.
I don't think you're going to have to worry about that.
Again, I'm not saying at this point, knowing what we know now, I would agree with that. But I thought before that game started, I thought that was an interesting conversation to have, to say, you know what? What do you do if Joe Flacco's leading the team and they're playing great football and they're 3-1 and they're first place in the division and the kid comes back? Do you make that change and throw things off? Do you stay with Joe? I thought it was interesting. I don't say I don't know how I would have done it, but
honestly, I think you have to. Zach Wilson's got to go in. You need to see as much of Zach Wilson as you can. Okay. Because if he doesn't work out this year, then you got to figure out what the next step is. True. What are you doing? Are you keeping him? What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
You have to know.
I just looking up something right now. I wanted to show you something. I listen. I think you're right. You have to get out. Zach Wilson's got to play football, regardless, because you need to know whether or not he's your guy. And I think that's an interesting take on that. I got another one interesting for you. I'm all for coaches being cocky, and we all know that the media. I mean, I don't know if we count ourselves as media at this point in our lives, but the media can be very tough on coaches. And after a game, your coach, Coach Saleh, was very adamant after the game about he's taking receipts. He wants to hold accountable when the Jets turn it around. He's going to remember all the people who knocked them. And, I'd have to say to him, Coach, I get your point, but the Jets have been bad, like the Giants, for a long time. And you're going to have to excuse people if they're, not buying in, especially after that performance, Jeff. Do you say to Coach Saleh, hey, you gotta know the history?
No, well, listen, like I told you once before, if I'm the owner and I'm watching a press conference and my coach comes out to the press conference and says, listen, this year we are looking to finish in third place. We are hoping to get a top 15 draft pick. We want to, be competitive for half a game. And whatever happens in the second half happens. And, if we win 5-6 games, this is going to be our Super Bowl. I would tell him while you're going off the podium, just keep going out the fucking door. I want my coach to have, be a little brash. I want my coach to make predictions, but I also want my coach to live with expectations.
Right.
I think Saleh didn't really say anything wrong.
No, I don't think it was wrong, but
okay.
you can't challenge the media or people who doubt your team after your history in the last few years and your performance Sunday.
No, you can't. But you want to know something? You can turn around and say, listen, I'm telling you right now, this is not the same team. Okay. I want you to give it some time. I want you to give it a couple weeks to let this team gel. Half our players weren't even on the same field when in the preseason because of the way the preseason is structured. Half of these guys didn't even play yet together. Our number one quarterback isn't even out there yet. So I want you to give us a little time. Let's come back and revisit this after a month. Let's see what happens when Wilson comes back. Let's see what steps he's taken. But you need to have confidence. You have to be confident. Listen, we talked earlier about the Giants coach and the confidence that he had in his team to say, keep the offense out there. We're going for 2. Okay. We could have went and kicked 1, not we, him. Yeah. He could have said, we're going to go kick 1 so we could try to win this in overtime. No guarantee that it's going to get to overtime, but you don't know what's going to happen. So you have to show a little confidence in your team. I think the team will consider what the coach said and say, listen, he's standing behind us for a reason. Everybody's saying this is a different team, that we have good players.
Yeah.
So Sauce Gardner, he had a decent game, but the kid, what is that fucking receiver's name? Shit.
Corey Davis? Oh, on the Ravens?
From the Jets.
Elijah Moore?
The kid from Ohio State.
Garrett Wilson. He
had a good game. He was one of the 10 best rookies that played on Sunday.
Yep.
Sauce Gardner, they're saying that it's hard to say what exactly happened with him and what he did because nobody threw the ball at his side of the field.
Which to me, I think is the biggest pep. I'd say this. I think that's not the indictment. I would think that's the biggest cause to say, hey, the kid's a good ball player. The other team didn't challenge him.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you weren't talking about Tom Brady or, one of the other top quarterbacks in the league, but, you and they were a team that has some receiver issues in their own right.
Yeah.
But they didn't try him. They didn't challenge him.
No, listen, I tell you, I watched most of that game. I was flipping between that and the Steeler game. I was lucky if I had like 6 games on Sunday. A regular TV, I get the Pennsylvania channel. So nice. I was watching the Jet game, the Eagles, and the Detroit Lions, which was actually a good football game. And I loved the way Detroit came back. I was watching the Steelers and the Chiefs, single Steelers Bengals. And then in the afternoon, I had the Giants, the Packers and the Chiefs, and the Chargers, Raiders. I had all these games on. I was like, I stuck with the Giant game for the most part. But, yeah, I mean, listen, I think if you watching the Jets play, I did not come out and going, "This is a terrible team." I just said, "Offensive line looks shaky." I don't know if it's Joe Flacco's fault, but when I looked at the stats and I saw the guy was 37-59, I'm like, that's not bad. And there was a.
What's going on over there? I can't hear you. Uh-oh, this isn't good. I saw something flash.
You hear me?
Now I can hear you. Can you hear me? You can't hear me, can you? Can you hear me now? Well, I'm going to take it that Tommy couldn't hear anything at this point in time. Either that or he just abruptly quit. Let's give him a couple minutes before he comes back. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's my power supply for my mixing board went out. I don't know why, but it popped.
Well, I did see a little flash, so.
Yeah, my whole screen went, but it popped. I just went and reset the. I think I got to get a new. Oh boy, I got to get a new. Hold on. Oh boy. Okay.
New power strip.
Yeah, I got to get a new power strip. I guess it's right now everything's a little bit in flux right now. I'm just trying to turn back on my system and anyway, hard rock.
Do you have a storm by your house or anything?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. All right,
Mike says that we're both coming across good.
Yeah, now we're back up. Okay, so
You sound better now.
Yep, yeah, like I said, it was just my my system. The power strip went out. I had to reset it. I have to refigure that out. But again, Hard Rock and Sports, Jeff and Tom, every Thursday night, 7 to 9:30. Thanks for tuning in, being a part of it. Talking Jets and Giants football right now. But Jeff, it's amazing, in sports how one play, one quarter, one game can change an entire outlook. Like, and I'll give you why. Coming into the season, there was a lot of people. The Jets won the offseason. I'm not telling this was you. I'm just saying in general. People, the Jets have a bright future. Zach Wilson, with Coach Salah. And the other side was kind of like the Giants have no chance this year. We'll see. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. And in one game has completely changed everybody's outlook on these two teams. Same fucking thing.
I can still hear you.
Oh boy! All right, I gotta make. All right, good. Because it's just things are popping off and on and popping off. I'm gonna try to make a change here if I can.
I can hear you.
All right, good. I'm just.
Well, I know what you're going to say, but I gotta stop you there because here's the thing.
Why?
Everybody's saying this about the Giants because they won the game. If they lost the game, everybody would want this guy's head, and you know that. Okay, that's one thing. As far as the Jets go, yeah, they got some better pieces in place. These people have 4 quarters of NFL experience at this point in time. So Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and the rest of the crew that came in the draft have 4 quarters of NFL experience. So and then they have a quarterback in Joe Flacco who's not very mobile, was forced to throw the ball maybe a little bit more than he wanted to. You're waiting for Zach Wilson to come back. He's getting older.
Yep.
You're not getting old. I'm sorry. Zach Wilson, he's injured.
Yep.
You don't know what he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, at this point in time, there's a lot of things are up in the air.
No, I
Giants
agree.
1-16.
No, I'm not telling you that anything's changed as far as what's actually going to happen. I'm just saying this. I listen to sports radio all the time. I read the papers every day. And the perception going into the season was nobody had a clue what the Giants were going to be, but the likelihood is that they're not going to recover. Barkley's not going to be good. Certainly not Daniel Jones. We have no idea what Dable's going to do. But the Jets won the offseason. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for the Jets. And one game again, teams are still the teams, but the perception and the way people are talking about them has really completely changed. Now, it could change right back. The Giants go out there, shit the bed this week, and the Jets go out and win, 37-3. Everything's back to what everybody thought before the season. I'm just saying is what people are seeing right now is different than what they talked about before they talked about during the in the preseason.
Of course, because what you did last week means nothing. What you did 5 seconds ago is what it's all about.
100%.
So, it doesn't really matter. But, listen, as far as the Giants go, let's just take 2 players that you just mentioned. Saquon Barkley, okay? 2 years in a row, the guy's season ended because of injuries.
Yeah.
Okay? He hasn't been the same back since his first year in the league. Now he comes out and he has a tremendous game. And, everybody's anointing him the next NFL rushing leader. That's fine. But here's the thing. He's also a back that gets injured.
Yep.
Let's see if he makes it through 16 games.
100%. And I think that's the point, Jeff. A couple of weeks ago, people were basically writing him off, and people wanted him to be traded before the season started.
Well, I still think that the Giants should have thought about that.
Again, your perception hasn't. I'm saying is the overall perception of people I get to hear and watch and read about all were down on him. All of a sudden now, the Giants need to give him a new contract. He's regained his form. I'm not buying into it. I love Saquon Barkley since he's in college. I was high on the draft pick. I thought he had a great rookie season. But you're right. I came into the season going, if he stays healthy, he's going to be great. But can he stay healthy? And that's the big question that we won't know the answer to hopefully for a long time.
You won't know the answer till his career is over, because if Barkley stays healthy this year and has a good year, comes out next year, slips on the turf, shreds up a knee, and doesn't play a fucking game for the rest of the season, they're going to say that the guy's had injuries 3 years in a row, 3 out of the last 4 years. Well, what's the point? And then he won't get signed. All right. He's also playing for a contract.
Absolutely.
So, he's going to be playing hard. And then
absolutely.
The flip side of all of that is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, he led his team to that touchdown and then helped them get the 2-point conversion. But right before that, there was Brian Dable screaming at him on the sideline.
Which I love, by the way. Well, and I think that's something that Daniel, but again, I thought Jones played a very good game. He was, I think, 15 of 18 for $190, 2 touchdowns, the 2-point conversion. But yes, the dumb, stupid interception was exactly what you're hoping not to get. And that could have cost them the game. That could have easily cost them the game.
Yeah, it could have cost them the game. But I got to admit to you, you know what? I didn't like Brian Dable doing that. And I'll explain why.
Go ahead.
Now, you got a guy that you're going to have to bring along a little bit with kid gloves, because he doesn't have a contract.
Right.
Okay, so he knows that he doesn't have a contract and that he's playing for a contract. That's one thing. Okay. 2, he's playing on a team that hasn't been very good the last couple of years, with an offensive line that hasn't been very good the last couple of years, with receivers that haven't been good the last couple of years, with a running back that's been injured the last couple of years. Yeah. So there's a lot stacked up against Daniel Jones to make the next step and to show that he's worth, being on this Giant team next year. After the first game of the season, if I'm Brian Dable, I don't know if I'm going to go chew him out on the sideline like that, or I'm going to turn around, pull him off to the side and say, listen, you're getting chewed out here, but I'm not making it obvious. But you gotta hold this ball. You gotta take care of everything. You need to play smart. Okay, it's the first game of the season. I understand you didn't get much preseason, but come on, let's go. Think mid-season form. Let's go. But everybody handles shit differently.
Absolutely.
I was told that Josh Allen used to get chewed out on the sideline too. But look at what Josh Allen turned into. And I don't think that Daniel Jones is going to be the next Josh Allen, though.
I don't think so either. But if he gets to be 3/4 of that, we'd have a very good quarterback on our team here. So I honestly liked it. I don't like the coddling of today's NFL players. So I love the fact that Daniel Jones threw that pick was a terrible, terrible throw for what he was trying to do. And I love the fact that my coach got in his face and said to him, "Hey, you want to play? You better, hey, Leonard Anthony, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
You need to make that. You need to make smarter decisions." So, I'm with you, but I'm against you now. When I like my coach calling the players out. I want these guys to know, and I think it's a big problem with the Yankees for most part this year, is that Aaron Boone never holds these guys accountable. Guys don't hustle. They don't get held accountable. He held.
Well, listen, you know what? Here's the difference, though. Aaron Boone
Yeah.
is the manager of a playoff caliber Yankee team. That's one thing. Second of all, he's been the manager for what, 2 or 3 seasons now?
Oh, more than that, actually. Yeah, no, 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
So that's one thing. You're talking about Brian Dable yelling at a quarterback that knows he's not on the contract for next year, that's playing for his life, that's probably shitting his pants every play that he's out there because now he knows he's getting chewed out publicly during a game where it's televised and people are going to talk about that and he's going to read it. So, that's just more on his plate to digest. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be corrected, because he should be corrected.
Absolutely.
Okay, without a doubt. But you got to watch how and when you do it, because you're dealing with somebody that could be fragile. Now, I understand football players aren't supposed to be fragile, but this is your quarterback you're talking about. This isn't your punter or defensive lineman or something like that. You need this guy to be tough, but you need to treat him a little bit with kid gloves, because it's almost like he's thinking to himself, if I fuck up this, that's it. I'm going to go become a backup someplace at best. Maybe I'll back up Geno Smith in Seattle. Who the fuck knows? You just don't know.
No, but I think I think you got to know your player. So I think you got to, if you're Dable, you got to know that the guy can handle it. 2, I think it's a good thing because you're out there showing the other guys, hey, here's my quarterback, and I'm ripping him. Let me see something happen to you. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well,
it's very, very sad that Anthony lost his life on his way up on that morning last Sunday, and good for you, Leonard, to be out there. And our condolences to Anthony and his family on his passing and being killed last week.
Yeah,
Jeff. Well, again, but again, I like my coach that was up in his face. What's your take on Steelers Bengals game? Oh boy, I don't know if Jeff saw it. I watched a good part of that game. I thought it was a great, entertaining game by 2 teams who played like shit.
I think they switched over after the Jet game.
Yeah, they did.
They switched over. I was watching part of it, and you know what? I thought it was. I'm not going to say that it was a bad game, but
it was a bad.
I mean, come on, how many more chances did everybody need to win that game?
Well, that's just it. I mean, look, Joe Flacco was horrendous early.
Joe Flacco had nothing to do with the Steelers Bengals game.
Yeah, Joe, he probably should have. Joe Burrow was horrendous. Second pass of the game was a pick 6. He just looked. I think he was sacked 5 times. I think he threw 3 picks. He was terrible. They got better as the game went on. I thought Pittsburgh's defense was good. The offense wasn't great, and then nobody wanted to win the game. They just kept making it. It was a very bad game. It was a very badly played game, but it was an entertaining game.
Joe Burrow is on pace to throw 68 interceptions this year. What an incredible amount.
Yeah. Okay,
that's one thing. Second of all, you're talking about the Steelers offense. When you got Mitch Trubisky leading the charge in his first NFL game as a starter in God knows how long, what did you expect? I didn't think that this guy was going to come out and throw for 5,000 yards this year. I think you better get used to a lot of low-scoring games with old Mitchell at the helm.
I wasn't impressed with either offense. I mean, they moved the ball. Defenses were good. I mean, I love T.J. Watt. Unfortunately, got hurt. He just was the best player in the field. Again, it was an entertaining game. It just was a sloppy mess of a game. And again, George, if it goes back to what we've talked about, no preseason. That's what you're getting. When your players, when your starters aren't playing in the preseason, this is what you're going to get the first few weeks.
There's a lot of different things you're going to get these couple of weeks. Not only were your starters not playing, but someone like Mitch Trubisky didn't play a lot last year.
Right.
Okay.
But even also he needed preseason.
Which is less work that he even had because he wasn't a starter last year.
Right.
Everybody seems to have trouble coming out of the gate. Matter of fact, I think they said Baker Mayfield has had 9 passes batted down in the last 2 games that he's played in the NFL. Now people are starting to ask whether Baker Mayfield listed at 6'1" is having that many issues. First of all, I didn't even think he was 6'1". I thought he was more like 5'11".
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And third of all, there's a lot of other players that are in his height range that don't have passes batted down. But, would the preseason help the guy like Baker Mayfield that much?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, Jeff, it's like anything else. It's repetition. And let it go. This goes back to baseball. It's all it's all becomes mechanical. It's all a muscle memory. So it's anything else. Like you're throwing a ball. You run the same route 50 times. You know exactly when to throw it. The muscle memory builds up. Same thing for baseball. Most sports. And football, when you don't play it and then you just jump into it, it takes a while to get that groove, to know that the guy in front of you knows exactly what you're thinking, Jeff. It's like anything else, that's important.
That all may be true, Tom, and I hear you what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but when you're a guy that's a quarterback that's playing on an NFL level like Baker Mayfield and some of these other guys, you should be able, regardless of how much time you missed, be able to shake the rust off a little bit quicker than, say, a rookie or a Mitch Trubisky that didn't play last year at all.
Okay.
Some of these guys, you were the number one pick. You were number one pick in the draft for a reason.
Right.
You weren't the number one pick for a team that picked 21st in the draft order.
Yeah.
You were the man taken first. Okay, so you should be able to do certain things. That's what there is to it.
No, I agree
understand what you're saying.
Right, but what if it's not the quarterback? Look at Green Bay. We all know Aaron Rodgers can roll out of bed and play great football. But if he's never practiced in the preseason with his receivers, who are basically all brand new or new guys, even if they're not, your timing's off. So Aaron Rodgers or any of those guys could be on point. But if your receiving core is not, or your offensive line is not, because they haven't played together, to me, that's the point. You could be great, and yet, the guys around you not play great, and you're stuck. And I think a lot of that is what you saw. I mean, look at Green Bay this week. I mean, Green Bay was terrible. Minnesota beat the hell out of them. And I think you and I could have did a better job of catching passes from him.
Listen, we very well might have been able to. Who knows?
Yeah,
you don't know. But I mean, you do have to think and realize that, it is what it is. And these guys are professionals. The NFL, what was more important to the NFL to have 17 games in a season than it is to have maybe 14 to 15 quality games, because it took a game or two for some of these offenses to get on track and to play right after having 4 games in a preseason. But because of injuries and the way that some of these guys play, now you're talking about maybe 12 to 13 quality games out of 17?
Yeah. No, but I also think it's 13. I think the big thing, though, Jeff, is the money. So right now, what the teams don't want is their $40 million, $50 million quarterback getting hurt in a preseason game, and they'll take their chances on him being or the team being a little behind when the season starts, as opposed to him not making it to the season, which I don't agree with. To me, you go out there and you play football, and that's all there is to it. But I think the teams are saving their investments.
Yeah, a lot of teams are probably saving their investments, Tom, and I hear you, and I don't blame them on certain levels. But you have to think that the NFL did this. The owners okayed.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Oh, 100%.
So now, one game in the NFL is big. Like I'm not good with numbers. Mike Passamante always used to make fun of us. We were trying to figure out numbers. But when you think of what a hockey team, 81 games, basketball team, 81 games, baseball, 162 games, football, 17 games. You fall flat in 2 games, that's it. That may be no way that you're going to make that up in over the course of the season. Totally impossible. Totally impossible for some teams.
Yeah.
Because now if you're 2 games down in the loss column, you depending on where you are in the season, it's almost impossible to make up.
I agree. The problem is that everybody's going to get off to most teams are going to get off to crazy start. You're going to see a lot of teams week 4, week 6 2-2 or 3-3. You're just I think you're going to see a lot of that.
You're going to see a lot of teams, but you know what, Tom? You're also going to get a lot of teams this week that are going to end the week at 2-0. And those 2-0 teams are going to go out the following week in week 3, and some of them may end up 3-0.
Yeah.
And every week there's a few that are going to drop, but they're going to be 2-1, 3-1, 4-2, whatever, and they're going to form the upper echelon of the NFL.
Yeah.
And nobody says that you have to be in the upper echelon of the NFL. You got to be an 11-game winner, 12-game winner.
Not anymore.
Look at a few years back, Seattle went to the playoffs with a 7-9 record.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Speaking of Seattle, did you see Jamal Adams is out for the year?
Yeah, I saw it. I would say that trade has not worked out great for Seattle.
Oh man, the Jets have to be like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, I mean he was a handful to begin with. There's a guy who had an overinflated opinion of himself, and then just whatever could go wrong for that guy in his career has gone wrong. Like, I mean, just injury after injury. You think about it, that vaunted draft where they got the 2 safeties, neither one of them made it to a second contract.
No, but Marcus May could have got signed to a second contract if the Jets looked at it differently and took care of things differently. I don't know what it is with this team. I don't know whether they want to build a team on guys on their first contract and that's it.
Yeah.
If not, they're not going to have much success. So, every once in a while you need to take a step forward and sign somebody to their second contract.
Yeah, it seems like in the NFL it doesn't happen a lot. It's funny. Guys get their second contract usually somewhere else, and they're usually 1-year deals or 2-year deals, and it's really is a crazy system now. You get 4 or 5 years with your draft, and if those guys don't get there, they don't get a second contract. It's very, very odd the way the NFL is now.
Listen, I understand that a majority of the players in the league are not who people thought they were. If that was the case, every game would be like a Madden game.
Yeah.
I totally understand that.
Yep, absolutely.
But there are plenty of people and plenty of players that play good and deserve a second contract. But the players are also pricing themselves out of that second contract,
especially the quarterbacks.
Listen. Never mind the quarterback. Quarterback is something completely different, completely separate.
No, but what I mean is you're paying him so much money that you can't afford to pay the other guys.
I know exactly what I hear you, but I'm just saying that to take the quarterback out of it because everybody is so hell-bent on having the next big thing in the league of quarterback. So even if it's somebody that might be, Brock Osweiler got signed to what was it, a $72 million deal almost 10 years ago.
Yep.
That's enough right there. We don't even have to go over any more bad deals.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? So that being said, that just goes to show you, the mindset that they just want somebody like they taking a stab in the dark. It's him. This is the guy.
Yeah.
And then after 2 or 3 games, they'll be like, this guy couldn't throw a fucking rock out of a plane and hit water. He just can't do it. He's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But, you already signed him and, this is why look at Sam Darnold. That's why he still has a job in the NFL.
Hey, real quick, we got 1 minute. We going Justin Herbert or we going
oh yeah, Justin Herbert. Yeah.
We're staying with Herbert tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear.
I was reading up about it. You didn't get back in touch with me, and I was like, I guess we're all on board with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I had a really tough day. I walked in the door really late, and I just looked down at the fantasy thing. I said, "Oh shit, we didn't make any changes." So that was the only one. The rest of it, Saturday or Sunday morning, we got plenty of time for the rest of the league.
Right now, the way everything is, I'm happy with the way everything is.
I agree.
The only difference is I would change the defense around.
Which we can certainly do. We go make that move right now. And Tampa Bay we have a starting defense in Tampa Bay this week.
Who's Tampa Bay playing again?
Tampa Bay is playing New Orleans. And Green Bay is playing Chicago.
Go make the switch back. Green Bay.
You got it done.
Green Bay.
the GM has spoken. All right, you got it. Well, like I said, we got time. Everybody else plays on Sunday, so we got plenty of time to make decisions. We'll see if Lazard comes back. We had a nice week, opening week. We got to win.
Lazard is not coming back this week.
Is that official?
He hasn't even practiced this week.
Okay.
So even if he comes back, he's coming in. here and there.
All right, listen, we're gonna roll with the squad we got. That's all. We roll with the squad we got. So
I will say this much
Go ahead.
about fantasy football.
go ahead.
Okay, I've believed myself now to be a panicker.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, because I'm looking at that shit several times a day
Okay.
on Sunday, and I'm like, all right, let me see what's going on. I'm like, fuck, look at this. Oh my god. And it happened on this Sunday that just passed.
Mhm.
And Frank Jeffrey was winning kind of big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're getting blown out. Then an hour later, I look again and I'm like, he's getting blown out. I know we're winning. He's getting blown out. But it's something that I could see people mortgaging their houses, giving up juniors' college funds, because if you make the right move and you win.
Oh, it's
big,
fun. It's fun.
well, it's fun, yeah, but it's almost like, you're trying to build a team.
Oh, absolutely.
Which you are. And you don't have 53 players.
Nope.
You only got a handful of players.
Yep.
And then I look at someone like, we tried to get Robbie Anderson.
Mhm.
I don't know who this fucking guy is. All I can say is I hope Robbie Anderson ends up in a rehab facility after this week because they took him from us. And then I look at some other people's rosters and I'm like, how did we miss this guy? How come we didn't get that guy? What the fuck were we thinking here? How did this happen? And then I look at some other people's rosters and I'm like, holy shit, we got like all-star roster compared to some of these other people.
Yeah, well, we put some work into it. Again, this is something where you have to put a little effort in. You have to sit down like we did, and you have the conversations about what players you want, what kind of team you want to build, and we did that. And we got a great draft grade. We started out okay. We have a good team. We have some deficiencies, but right now it's for $25 a man. It's not a big prize, no big deal. Next year, talking about $100 a man. That's it's significant. You're talking about $1,000 pot, to have some fun, and we're talking about making a legacy league where we can hold on to a certain amount of our players and then draft new guys around that. So now you're in the offseason. All right, who should we hold on to? Who should we keep? Who should we be jettisoning?
I can't hear this now. My fucking food is like right here. It's a knot. Thinking like, oh, now I gotta think. I gotta fucking think. Who am I signing? Who am I keeping?
But let me ask you a question. Does it make? I would tell you this. It'll make you like my sons were not big football fans or sports fans in general. They like basketball, but they like playing more than they like watching. I would tell you that both my sons now are huge sports fans and huge football fans because of fantasy football.
My wife told her son that we're doing the fantasy football league. You know what he turns around and tells my wife?
What?
I'm surprised it took him this many years to get into it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? For years, I heard about it. I knew about it. I didn't know how it was set up. I had an idea of how it was set up.
Yeah, sure.
And then I was just like, I don't know, like, where do you go? Where are you going to get into a good one? I don't want to do one of these and don't know anybody. Like these guys, I know who some of them are.
Yeah.
I've met most of them before, so I know who they are.
Sure.
I'm doing it with you. So when we were doing it, we were talking about it. And then all of a sudden we had, okay, this guy got picked. That takes this off. How about him? What are we going to do there?
That's
fun. And then also, holy shit, we got a minute left,
Well, next year they're talking about doing it live. We're all going to be in the same room together.
Oh, I know.
Yes. They're talking about doing a live draft next year where we're all sitting in the same room and you're making your picks and the whole bit right in front of everybody.
I can see fist fights starting now. You motherfucker.
But it can be addicting. It's not, see, to me, I've done it enough times in my life and I've won a couple leagues and it's fun. But this to me is more fun because we're doing it together. That's what's got me pumped up.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, because we're bouncing stuff off of one another.
Absolutely.
I will say this much though. We're two different people. I'm kind of high strung. You're kind of laid back with this. And there's days where I was texting you. I'm at work and I'm like, Tom, I think we should make this change. And you were like, yeah, all right, whatever, later on in the week. And I'm not going to lie. I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck is he waiting for? Just make the change. And like all of a sudden, then you would text me like the day. And you're like, oh, what was that change again? I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, see, the thing is you have time. So like to me, I don't want to make I read the stuff every day. I'm on the site every day, at least once.
So
I'm going through ESPNs, I'm going through all the different fantasy places. And and then you're gathering your information. And then you look at your roster, you say, who's playing Thursday? I got to make a decision on those guys. After that, I'm going to wait till Saturday. I want to wait till Sunday. You never know who's going to trip. And again, the one thing we need to do a little bit more of is after Sunday. Okay, who's on the waiver wire? Because there's waiver draft and there's free agents. A free agent is a guy we can pick up anytime. So if a guy is a free agent right now, we can pick him up and don't have to run through waivers. He's automatically ours. But if he's
then how do we lose Robbie Anderson then?
Well, Robbie Anderson wasn't a free agent. He was released by somebody, and we picked him up.
Somebody released him?
Yeah, somebody had Robbie Anderson and released him.
Oh,
so that's what. So we have to be, and also you got to be careful. There is a certain time. I think it's Monday and Tuesday, or no, Tuesday and Wednesday, where you have to make you make your claims. If you wait till after Wednesday, then that player is anybody's game. So you have to watch. We have to watch stuff like that. So, but to me, there aren't many players out there that you're going to look up and go, "Hey, that guy's going to make a big difference than the guy I already have on my team." But you got to look, and that's something that we have to do a little bit more of. Go, hey, this guy had a decent week, and he's playing this team, and our guy sucks. And move guys around a little bit. There's guys on our roster that we can go, all right, we can get rid of him and put a guy in there just in case kind of guy.
Maybe we'll see.
Yep, but, absolutely.
Me, I like to have things done yesterday.
That's me. But you have listen. You're the GM. You can go on the site and say, "Hey Tom, I went in and I made a change. I'm with you. You can make any change you want."
I don't know how to do the change though, Tom. So that's the thing. So I need the assistant general manager.
All right. So we're gonna do a change. We'll do a couple between now and Sunday. We'll do a couple changes just to change them, and we put them back so you can learn how to do it. But yeah, all you really do is go into our roster and you're clicking on the guy's position, and then you're clicking on the guy you want to change him with. Then it makes the change.
Listen, let me explain something to you.
Go ahead.
Okay, just to show you how ahead of things that I am with everything in life. Okay, I've already started talking to my wife about how am I going to put the lights up for Christmas, what we should spend food wise for Christmas Eve, and if she has any ideas who's coming over. Okay, what bills we're going to pay tomorrow, and if we're touching anything that's going into October. Meanwhile, it's going to be September 16th. Okay, I'm such a roid that I have almost tomorrow. I'll have all my bills paid for the month of September.
Nice.
So, well, yeah, yes, very nice. Some people would be like, "You got time? Why are you giving your money away?"
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Down, and I got to have it done. And my wife is one. She'll be like, "I'll get to it when I get to it." I'm like, "Just do it now. Do it now. Do it now." So I can't. Once something comes into my head, if it doesn't get done now, I'm like, "Oh my God, it's not going to happen." Oh my God, and that's me. And you are laid back, like you've always been laid back. I'm not laid back.
No, again, and nothing's wrong either way. I'm a little more laid back in the sense that I know we can make these changes last minute, and I want you because I want to read everything that's going to happen. I want to know who's out there and who can play and who and all the stuff that goes on. But again, I like the fact that you're more hyped up and you're checking because listen, I could easily. There's been plenty of times I've gone 2 weeks ago. Oh shit, that guy's not even playing this week. Why didn't I change him out? And you lose the game. Vinny Cusick, holy shit. What's up, buddy boy? Wow. There's a blast from the past, my man Vinny Cusick. How are you, pal? Hard Rockin' Sports, Jeff and Tommy on a Thursday night. We're talking fantasy football this week. And I think we're gonna make fantasy a little big part of the show each week. Since we're both managing a team together in our league.
I think we have to, as long as nobody else is popping on and listening.
Well, listen, I hope they all listen. They can do what they have to do. We just got to manage our team.
Well, I don't want to tip our hats to anybody. I didn't think that I would end up thinking this competitively.
That's yes, and that's the whole. See, the reason I wanted to do it in this league with these guys, and of course with you, is because I know they're all competitive guys, and the idea is you'll see after a few weeks, guys will be talking trash. I'm a big media blackout guy. Like I talked to Frankie this week. Frankie, media blackout. We don't talk from Thursday to Sunday. We don't talk. I don't want. I'm not tipping. And I do that with Matt all the time. And and I love those guys, but I want to win. I want to win this thing.
Well, I noticed that one chat is between us and Frankie.
Yes,
must have been looking for a little advice because he was like, "I'm going to consult my experts here," and I answered him, and he agreed with what I said. So.
It's fun, and you'll find yourself more. What you're really going to find is at the end of this year, you're going to know more about a lot of the players in the league than you ever did before, because you'll be watching some of these guys who you never really would have paid. You wouldn't pay attention to who the backup quarterback is on a certain team, or who the third receiver is, and did he have a great game 2 weeks in a row? Maybe we should pick it. That's the fun part of this. And then again, when you get down to the playoffs and you're winning games, and believe me, it's very competitive, and I love the fact that you're buying in.
Do people contact us regarding a trade, or
sure.
do people? How does that work?
Let's say that you probably get an. I think it's an email. You'll see an email come and say such and such a team has offered you a trade, and then you would go to either the trade block. There's a thing on the site, or you can actually usually click the email. So I would get the email and I would forward it to you. Okay. And then we would open up and say, okay, so and so is offered this, and you have a certain amount of time to either accept it, or you can also. I think you can. Kind of say no, but we'll do this, instead, and counter it.
Is it player for player, or is it like you could trade 2 for 1?
Yeah, no, you can make any trade. Now, when you make a trade, people like the commissioners or even certain players, certain other teams can go on. I veto the trade, and then there's a process to decide whether the trade goes through or not.
Why would somebody else veto the trade?
Well, let's put it this way. So let's say it's late in the season and we're out of it, right? You and our team sucks. And Frankie Jeffrey reaches out and says, hey, guys, my quarterback stinks. Trade me Justin Herbert. I'm going to give you my backup kicker for Justin Herbert. Okay, Frankie, for you, I'll do it. I want you to win. And the other teams may say, whoa. You're trading Justin Herbert. Usually the thing is, if you're out of it in the league, you don't make trades.
Well, I can tell you right now, there's no way that I'm trading Justin Herbert for. But I understand what you're bringing to me to show me.
Yeah,
but there's certain players that especially if it's going to be, what do you call it, a heritage league?
Yeah, it's a leg. I think they call it a legacy league.
Legacy league, yeah. Especially if it turns into that. One of the last people I'm going to trade is Justin Herbert.
Yeah, so I mean, you look around your team and you say, okay. Everybody puts out the list of people that keep it. And then you'll see the plays that are going to back in the pot. And you say, okay, do we release Justin Herbert and then try to grab another quarterback next year? Do we stick with Justin Herbert and we're going to release our running? It's one of those things where you can have some fun with it, and you'll go a couple of years. And if everybody takes it serious, and these guys, I would say, you'll probably lose a couple of guys who finish in last place, or guys who aren't just at the end. There's a couple of guys I could see right now that might not make the whole thing. And at the end of the day, you'll get new guys, and maybe we might even go to a 12-team league next year. We'll see.
Well, I could tell you, I could say this much, man. If it turns into a legacy league, okay, I could see that this is going to make it completely different in the way that you draft, because now you have certain players. Now, being that we have Tyreek Hill and Justin Herbert, those are two guys that I would want to keep.
Sure.
I don't know how many guys it would end up that you keep.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. I think each league can pick how many guys they want to keep and how many guys you're going to redraft. So,
well, let's just say that it's 2 guys, and we keep those 2 guys, and we're like, we deem them the best players that we have. We're keeping them. Okay, that's fine. Is that going to change the way that you draft now? Do you think? Because now it's like, okay, I got a quarterback and a wide receiver. I already have a wide receiver, a good wide receiver at that. What do I do now? Do I go after a running back? Is the rest of the league now, depending on who they're going to keep?
Right.
It's going to make everything so much different.
Absolutely, because now, okay, if everybody's keeping players, you might need a wide receiver, but that might not be, a bunch of great wide receivers out there. Or you may say, I need running backs, and everybody's holding on to running backs. We held on to receiver. Maybe we want to get another receiver. Maybe we want to get another running back. I'll get a running back. So yeah, it definitely makes it more. And I know you're allowed to keep more than 2. I'm not sure exactly how many, but you can keep a good part of your roster, and then you're just filling in the blanks again. So now everybody's keeping their good players, and now you're trying to grab that peripheral guy, that you didn't know was a good player, and feed your roster. So it's and then you decide who you can keep, and it's gonna be a lot of fun if everybody sticks with it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like I was kind of shocked when I was going down the list of offensive players, and I saw that who wasn't drafted as quarterbacks and everything else. So you see plenty of quarterbacks. Like right now, if Justin Herbert went down, Derek Carr is our quarterback.
Yep.
And I saw a couple guys that, okay, I wouldn't want to have them, but if I need to, it is what it is. If Herbert got hurt and he's going to be out for 3 weeks, I wouldn't change anything other than making Carr the starter. I wouldn't drop anybody for another quarterback.
Great, but so now this is what everybody talks about in the league. About remember we were looking at it and they said don't draft the quarterback till the second round. You remember well, here's why. Because do you know what the difference between Joe Flacco's game and Justin Herbert's game was Sunday?
Well, probably minuscule points.
4 points. Joe Flacco did next to nothing and still wound up with 34.89. We had a great week when our quarterback had 38 points. So I think the point of it is, do you say, hey, wait a second, I can not take the quarterback early, right, and still get a guy who's going to be ultra competitive, yet get a better receiver or running back because I'll get him earlier in the draft. These are things to think about. Now, I agree with you. I love Justin Herbert. I would if it wasn't Josh Allen, Justin Herbert was the guy I wanted.
Yeah, listen, I'm very happy with it, but let me show you the flip side of that, Tom. And I'm letting you think about this because, evidently he's not popped on. I don't think we're going to see him tonight. But John, with his team, he took Tom Brady.
Yep.
Just yardage. Tom Brady, I think, was through for the 23rd most yards on Sunday.
Yes.
Okay, so now here's Tom Brady. He took him later on, a couple rounds later.
Yep.
All right, he's got Brady that, last year was a top quarterback, this, that, and the other thing. And now all of a sudden this year, all right, maybe he had an off game, a bad game. But, what happens if next week is an off game? And what happens if the week after is an off
absolutely,
game?
100%.
So now you're thinking that, all right, yes, it may only be 4 points, but you know what? That could be 4 points, 5 points, 4 points. So now you're talking, 13 points or whatever it is over 3 weeks. You don't know. Tom, I got to run in the other room. Something is pressing. I'll be right back. Actually, you there?
Back. Okay, I'm back.
Right back.
Yeah, Jeff. All right, Hard Rocket Sports. Jeff and Tom hanging out here on a Thursday night. Again, my equipment's got a little bit of a mind of its own tonight, so bear with me. But I see everybody's checking in. I see Johnny Mahefker and Gumari Lou and a lot of people checking us out on Facebook and all that good stuff. So thanks to everybody who's paying attention to Jeff and I tonight when we do our show. Oh, God, yeah. So, again, this show was dedicated to my pup. I don't know if I can get my screen back up. Let's see what happens. Let's try it out. This show is dedicated to my pup, Pico, my buddy, who passed away. And I say passed away. We had to put him down because his kidneys shut down. And I don't want to bring the show down, but I figured I got to tell you what's going on because that's what we do here. And I want to maybe bring up a picture of my man Pico. Let's see, what did I do with it? I don't know where it is at the moment. I'll try to find it. There it is. Let's put it on the screen. But again, Jeff and I here every Thursday, and thanks for tuning in and joining us and having some fun. But again, I do have to kind of let you know what we're doing out here and why we do it and all that other good stuff. So I'm gonna again just say I am dedicating this to my man Pico. Thanks to Jeff for allowing me to do that. Let me see if I can make that a little bigger. So,
dude, I didn't allow you to do that. It was something that kind of, it's your dog. It had to be done.
Yeah, that was my guy. Unfortunately, a couple hours before my wife had to take him to the vet, and he had to say goodbye. A quick funny story. I don't know if it's a funny story. I always find it amusing when my wife and I were living in Jersey. We just moved a year or so early, and we talked about a dog, but neither one of us had really wanted to have a dog at that point. And one day, my wife says to me, starts sending me text pictures of this dog, and she's going, "We got to get a dog. I want a dog." And I'm saying, "No dog right now. We had the kids. We had too much going on. No dog, no dog, no dog." And she must have sent me I would say 20 different pictures of this dog. And I'm no. She left it, and she wound up leaving the pet store and left him there. And I could tell for sure that it was bothering her. And on my way home, I decided I'm gonna go get him. And she told me, she said he is $650. And I was like, all right, I just got my tax money back. And I said, all right, I'll spend half, part of my tax money on him. And I never forget, I walked up to the thing, and I said to my wife was here today, and she saw this dog, and so the lady takes him, she puts him in my hands, and I'm holding him, Jeff, in my palm. And he's cute as hell, and he's licking me and all that good stuff. So I said, I'm going to take him. She's writing the paperwork, and it turned out he was $1,600. Yeah. So at that point, I'm basically emptying my pockets or whatever I had, and I walked home. I took him home, and when I got in the door, I opened the door, and my wife hears me, and she says, "You home?" I said, "I'm home," and I put him down, and he went running out, and she was thrilled, and that's how he came home, and I think from that point, he was my guy. He was always, he loved her and all that. But I was, when he needed something, I was his guy. So I think because I was the one who took him home that day, and I'm glad I did. So I just wanted to thank you to you and everybody else for indulging me. If you've never been through it, I hope you never have to. But the satisfaction of raising the puppies and giving them great lives will outweigh the heartbreak that when you lose them. So that I can tell you.
It does suck, but listen. However you look at it, before that day comes is up to you. It's a great thing. I love having my dog, and when the day comes that my dog is no longer here, I'm not going to be able to be usable for a couple days. I'll just be sitting someplace in a corner. But you know what? You still have another one else, and that's makes it easier for you. Trust me, because
absolutely, sure.
We put Stewie to sleep. We went home, and I remember telling my wife on the way home, I was like, "We're going to lean on Basil now." I says, and she's got a big job ahead of her. And Basil, we call her all sorts of things. Basie cakes, because we used to live next to the bakery, so we used to call her Basie cakes. And she has more than lived up to what we needed, and to the point where I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't even want to think about it.
I feel the same way. I got older,
but to veer off track for a minute, I have a special announcement that's going to be made here for the first time.
Go ahead, go make it. Maybe I got a special picture after that, but go ahead.
Okay, on December 30th at Juicy Lucy.
December 30th. So we're creeping up on New Year's. Okay.
Juicy Lucy will be the premiere debut show of the Ramorons. The Ramones.
I saw that post.
First Ramones tribute band.
That's got to be, if you would have gave me 1,000 things you were going to do, that would not have made the list.
Well, funny how it made the list, to be honest with you.
For a funny story, go ahead.
I saw this guy, John Esposito, John Michael Vincent Esposito. He's got like 3 different names. I don't know what's going on with that, but he's a cool dude. And he put up, Ramones tribute anyone. So I was like, need a bass player. And then next thing you know, John Collins is in there commenting away. So now it's the 3 of us. And they're like, you got a drummer. So me and Chris Salazar were trying to do something for a while. And we just could never get it together. And then all of a sudden I was like, let me ask him. And it turns out Chris was in a Ramones cover band like back in the fucking 80s.
Oh, wow.
And he was telling us stories where he actually got to play a few songs with the Ramones.
Oh, wow.
At Wave Street years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So that being said, we all agreed, and we made it to the studio for the first time. We've had one practice.
Okay.
One practice. We already have a show booked in a couple of months. That was, thank you, Jeff Altieri. For reaching out to me, and he says, yes, John Collins, and hey, you guys into it? You want to? And I'm like, I'll let you know as soon as I can. And bang, here we go.
Nice.
And, so December 30th, Juicy Lucy, the premiere debut show of the Ramorons. What do you think of that name for a Ramones tribute
I
band?
think it's absolutely apropos. I think it's tremendous, and I was happy for you. I saw the post go up, so good for you, and good. And I don't know your guitar player, but the other two guys are top notch guys, so good for you.
The guitar player fits right in, man. He's just as bent as the other two, the other three. To be honest with you, he's a great guy. And we met at practice, and everybody, we kind of just looked at one another and just smiled. And we played a couple songs. And I got to say, I played in a lot of bands, and this band, not anything against anybody else, but I've not felt the chemistry with a band since like either the Hard Rock and Sports Band, because we all knew one another.
Yeah.
As far as a work-wise goes, since Talking Trash, and that says a lot, man, because Talking Trash used to be like, how about this song? And we'd fucking play it right then and there.
Yeah.
And I can see that this band is heading that way. And I can't wait to get out there and play. And, I'm psyched for this more so than a certain other day that's coming up, to be honest with you.
Hold on, I gotta answer this. Hold on.
To the extent he targeted them for age, it was sex. He was attracted to them. He finds black men beautiful. That is the opposite of hate. Actual animus is irrelevant. How can it be a hate crime without actual animus? How can that possibly be irrelevant? According to a recent New York case, people be Cooney, the court held. If someone intentionally selects a victim based on belief or perception regarding their race, color, gender,
I'm gonna have to end this a little early, but we still got a few more minutes.
Right?
Yeah. Just normal stuff.
What's that?
I said just normal stuff. No big deal. Good for you. I'm happy. I know that I'm surprised by the genre. I never thought you much of the Ramones fan, but
I'm not. I'm not. You know what it is? It's easy.
Yeah.
The songs, if you listen to them, they're actually kind of comical, kind of funny.
No, absolutely.
And once we've gone over a couple of them, it's like we went in there, we had a little fun, and it's, I mean, John Collins, John Collins for 1,000,001 years. It's somebody that's like, the next level, the next ring out from our original core of friends.
Absolutely, sure. Listen,
Great
it sounds like a good group, and you'll have some fun, and you'll actually get to play, which is really what you're looking for. So,
yeah,
good for you. I'm happy and looking forward to it.
Then I got one to tell you. I got a text message today.
Okay.
From somebody. I got to call this guy back. I didn't get a chance to. I don't know if I want to or not.
Okay.
Regarding a band that I was in not too long ago that played a show and cleared the roster. If you remember that band.
Drawing a blank on that one, Jeff.
Deceivers.
Oh my God, again?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I got a text. I got a text from this one guy, and then I got a text from somebody else real quick. And I'll be like, look at this. And they send me a screenshot.
Uh-huh.
Mine said, call me. His was just a text like, are you interested? And he was just like, that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to call because it's like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, why would you want to do that to yourself again? You know what you went through the last time.
Well, I know that I know what the answer is, and not because it's just like, it was handled the wrong way. I can't do that again. I'm not doing it.
I don't blame you. I think you stick with the fun stuff and no more bullshit. And just it seemed like you guys were fighting over songs and playing in Applebee's and
well, listen, like I said, when you play Lit Up and
yeah,
what the fuck was the other one that we were playing by Buck Cherry, which was basically about banging a stripper, and you want to sandwich it between Funky White Boy, and now you're able to play Applebee's. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one, boy. Listen, I'm happy for you on the Ramones thing, and I'd be happy if you stayed away from the other one. But whatever you decide to do, you're a big boy. You love to play. Do what you got to do.
Mommy said, "Don't go crossing the street again." You know what I mean?
That's it, my man. That's it.
You could watch and you could look from across the street, but you
Yeah,
can't
but
go over there.
Won't get in the train wreck, baby.
No.
Stay out of the train wrecks.
Exactly.
Oh, good for you.
That dog bites. You know?
Yeah. Listen, if dog bites you once, don't stick your hand back in there again. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah, so,
Exactly.
good for you. I know it's been some trying times lately with different bands not fulfilling their promises to you about. So we.
And then I saw a member of that band the other day, yesterday.
Which one? The one you just had the problem with, or the one the other one?
The other one.
Three-piece
the
or
other
the
one
five-piece?
that you had dealings with.
Okay.
I saw their drummer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I told him, I kind of
Oh, you gave it to him?
loaded to him and told him, like, hey, just so you know what the fuck, man. Nobody gets back to me and tells me anything. I know you and the other guy for how many fucking years? Neither one of you could send me a text and say, this is the way it ain't gonna happen. Like, you gotta be fucking. They're like, oh, you want me to tell her? I'm like, I don't really care what you do, if you tell her or not.
Yeah, but I mean, at the very least, they got to go, hey, regardless of what you guys want to do, I'm going to tell my friend who I know forever he's not in or he's in. You can't treat people that way. But listen, not to say you should have learned, but you saw what happened with me. I showed you the text messages.
Yeah, I know. And it turns out that, I'm not going to say she's a town crier from what I'm being told, but she definitely jumps the gun. And I'm not using that as an excuse or anything to help her a bit, because it's not. You don't do things that way. That's all. Just do the right thing. Oh, it looks like Tommy's having some issues.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Well, what is going on over there, man?
Yeah, it's the power strip. It's something wrong with that. I'll have to switch it out after the show.
So you better make sure you unplug that shit.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna. I don't know what the frick, but whatever. A couple more minutes. I wanted to show you a picture of something, and I can't get the screens to work right now. We'll try one more time, and then I'll get off that idea. I got to do a little music. We haven't done music in a couple weeks, really. But I want to get this one in. If I can get the screen to work for 5 minutes, I'll be able to do that. Let's try one more time. I'll do it fast. But congratulations. I'm happy. I want to thank, a lot of people were nice with their post. Were complimenting my post I put up this week, and got a big turnaround. But I had Jeff's one person who reached out to me, as he always does, and our friendship is different. That's why he's my best friend, and all of that. And he it's not just about being on the show or Facebook friends like some people are with you, who say that they're your friend, but. Jimmy Galicchio actually reached out to me, and I know Jimmy's not the kind of guy who does spend a lot of time on the phone, but Jimmy reached out to me with a text and, really said some kind words. So I wanted to make sure whether he's listening or not, I want to thank Jimmy Galicchio for doing that. Meant a lot. Knowing Jimmy's had a big phone guy, for him to reach out was really cool. So,
hey, listen, man, when it comes to that, everybody knows Jimmy's a dog owner. He knows.
Yeah.
It's a devastating experience, man.
Yeah.
It sucks. Some of the things you said in the beginning, like, you couldn't agree more with. You're used to, they're in your home. They're your family members. They live with you. There's a difference between having a pet and owning a dog.
Yeah. Two different things. Absolutely.
A dog has a job. A pet is there. He's with you. He's part of you. You take care of him.
Yeah.
My dog sleeps with us every night.
Me too. I one slept with us every night. The other slept at the foot of the bed and his thing. He didn't want it, but yeah, they were like them, but more like children than they are pets.
Yeah, my dog lays in bed, and then when I come in bed, first of all, I put her in bed. She goes and snuggles over to my wife. Then I go in bed, and then she comes over to me. She has to touch me somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll feel part of her on me, and then when she gets too hot, she comes up out from under the covers, and she'll lay between the two pillows.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I wake up, and there she is laying on my pillow. But if I go to the bathroom, my dog will get up and wait for me.
Oh, that's nice.
If my wife goes to the bathroom, my dog
could care less.
Doesn't do anything.
Hey, before my screen goes out again, that's a great story. I got to play this. Sometimes it's better, Jeff, to hide a little bit. And when I show you this picture, I think you'll know why.
Oh. Yeah,
I want to reach out to Joe Lynn Turner, who, by the way, gave us our most highly rated show ever. 9,000 people tuned in to listen to that show. Joe Lynn put the wig back on. He looks like. Did you ever watch the 10 Commandments with Yul Brynner?
It is a good comparison. Yul Brynner, yeah.
That first off, if you're gonna take off the wig, you can't go with the eye makeup, Jeff. You got to get rid of the eye makeup.
Yeah.
It's frightening. I mean,
Yeah.
it's borderline. I don't even want to say it. Then you got the painted fingernails.
Yeah.
I don't know what side of the street Joe walks on.
Well, I can tell you.
You can.
I can tell you.
Okay.
I've met Joe Lynn Turner several times. I've
Okay.
talked to Joe Lynn Turner several times.
Okay.
Joe Lynn Turner used to call me and Joey Gansas to Twin Towers.
Oh, really?
That's how many times we used to meet him. And we used to get on each side of him. And we would say, is James Hetfield a dick? He's cool, right? Is Tony Iommi cool? Yeah, he's cool, right? Is Ozzy cool? Yeah, he's cool, right? No, Ingve, he's a dick, right? Oh, yeah, he's a dick. And this is the questions that we used to fire at Joe Lynn Turner. Okay, so that being said,
yeah,
he did mention about having a female at home.
Okay,
he did more than just clean the house. Like was there waiting for him.
I gotta question that right now, Jeff. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I understand why you would question it.
You have to understand why I'm questioning this.
He definitely is 100%, or he's definitely more than 50% heterosexual. And he took a few pictures with us. If you notice on the picture with the hair, he has he poses. He's a poser.
Okay.
He definitely poses for every picture he takes. Like everything is a photo op, and listen, if this is what he's done, this is what he's done.
I can't argue that, but just
what is the last albums that he did that were worth anything was over 40 and 35 years ago. So Joe, come on, man.
It's time for some new stuff. The other quick article I wanted to get, we'll probably get to it next week. It was the headline on this. Let's see if I can get it before I lose the screen. I'm not going to bring the screen back up again. If we'll try to hold on, Randy Rhoads. Let's see if I can get that article that was out there. It's spinning.
Yeah, some major issues there, ain't you?
Not tonight, but tonight, yeah. I don't. Okay, I want to get to this. Let's talk about this one a little bit. I don't know if you can see this, Jeff. It says Randy Rhoads didn't have a nice thing to say about Eddie Van Halen.
No, the only thing I see, it says Alice Cooper, Paul Rogers, and Matt Sorum.
Oh, you don't see Randy Rhoads there?
No.
Really? On the screen, you're not seeing the Ozzy Osbourne thing right in the front here?
Negative.
Really? That's interesting.
Now I see it.
Now you see it?
Yeah.
Let me know when you're seeing it right now.
Yes.
Okay. So that's I haven't read the article yet, but this is something we'll get into next week more when we have more time. But it seems like Randy was not a big Eddie Van Halen fan. Now, I don't know if it's a personal thing or the way he played, but we'll definitely get into that a little bit next week.
Well, let me ask you this: what is Ozzy getting out of this? Randy Rhoads has been dead for 40 years. Eddie Van Halen can't defend himself, and we're supposed to listen to some old English guy that spent most of his life getting completely fucking blasted.
Yeah, who's 73, by the way.
Yeah, only has a few brain cells that work.
Yeah, and he still wants to get out there and tour. Yeah, I don't know what Ozzy gets out of it. I mean, I guess, listen, he's still relevant. I mean, the NFL had him sing at halftime of last week's game.
For 10 seconds.
He got the new album out, videos of flying, and he's going to do another tour. He's doing another tour. So, I mean, we saw Ozzy it's got to be 5 years ago now, 4 years ago?
Oh, man, what was it? 6 years ago, I believe.
Okay, so 6 years ago, he was not even 70, 60-something years old, and I thought he was he's about done, and now 7 years later, the guy's still rolling around out there. So, I don't know.
go into YouTube
Uh-huh.
and put
Huh?
Ozzy Osbourne. You don't have to do it now. Do it when you get a chance. Put on Ozzy
will.
Osbourne Paranoid or Black Sabbath Paranoid, Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train,
Mhm.
Ozzy Osbourne I Don't Know, and listen to how low the music is. Those are songs that are tuned to 440, that are tuned so low that they got to be tuned to C at this point in time.
Wow.
At least a step and a half, maybe 2 steps or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. And it's sad.
It is sad.
Okay, and they're still throtting him out there. And I don't understand. Like, I understand that in Ozzy's case, he stops touring, maybe he dies because he has nothing else.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's a fair point. A lot of people say, my grandfather lived 60-something years, healthy, never went to doctors, retired, was dead inside a year. They say that you have to have something to live for, and stopping, doing what you do every day, it definitely affects your body. So, but yeah, listen, I could not even I don't care who his band is, unless it's Sabbath, I would never go see Ozzy again. I've seen him twice now, once solo and once with Sabbath. I'm good to say that's something I did.
I got to be honest with you. I would rather at this point in time, and even after 13, which has lost some of its luster to me over the course of years, you want to do something, you want to put on an album and everything else, that's fine. But Ozzy solo stuff, come on, man. I don't care who you have on there. Jeff Beck, Tony Iommi. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
It's Post Malone. It just stop.
No, yeah, I'm not paying attention to it anymore. I do want to. I'll save a couple of things. I want to talk about some of the guys from Poison talking about the stadium tour. I'll say it real quick. So Ricky Rocky came out, and he's the drummer for Poison, and he said, our stadium tour this summer proves that rock ain't dead. And I went, you got to be kidding! It took 4, sometimes 5 major 80s headliners to fill one stadium. Guys, I'm the first one to say I don't want to admit rock's dead, but don't tell me you took Def Leppard, Poison, Motley Crue,
Joan Jett.
Was that another band? I think
it was just those 4, unless there was somebody else that slipped in.
Let's say there's 4 major acts. Whether you like them or not, these are guys who were major acts in the 80s. You took 4 of you to be able to go out there and have some sort of a summer tour through stadiums. Guys, I love you, but
it's over.
Yeah, if one of you guys went out there and you were able to do that with Joan Jett, I would say I'm impressed. You can't tell me you need 4 major acts fans to fill one arena. Guys, it's not even an arena, it's a stadium. Come on, guys. Call it a day.
Listen, 25 years ago, Tommy Lee was burying his donga inside of Pamela Anderson.
True.
Now he's showing it solo on Instagram.
Yeah.
If that isn't telling you something, come on. It is fucking over.
Yeah.
A guy I know on Facebook posted a video with Nikki Sixx at Vintage Vinyl.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah. It was an undercover video of Nikki Sixx working there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was stupid. It had to be a setup. It had to be a setup. So he's talking to this guy, and the guy, he tells the guy, "Oh, come on, man, you're a rocker, right?" And the guy's like, "Well, sometimes I'm not a rocker anymore." And Nikki Sixx goes like this, "Well, look, this isn't real." And he starts pulling on his rug.
Come on.
Yeah, I swear to God, you watch the video, man. If I can get the video, I'll get it.
You get it, send it to me. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
And I was just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, all right, I knew the guy at the very least dyed his hair.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he fucking, that was real or not. But then a shot of Tommy Lee came on TV when me and my wife were downstairs earlier. And my wife's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, what's the matter with him?
Yeah, you've been asking that for 20
It's like, dude, younger girls don't know who you are. It's impossible. They can't know who you are.
Yeah.
And the older women, wives' age bracket,
they're
gonna be like, we don't want this fucking, look at this scurf bag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, listen, I love the fact that the music's still out there to listen to and all of that. And I love to see these guys playing stadiums and putting out good music. But don't tell me rock's not dead because 4 major acts from the 80s. You got together, charged a lot of money for shows that some of you guys couldn't even finish. And you went and played a bunch of stadiums that you needed 4 acts to fill.
Let me see. Well, I still have you. Do you have a couple minutes?
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking up. I'm not on the screen with the radio, but I'm looking up the PNC schedule for the tickets. All right, that have happened this year.
Yeah.
All right. There's only a couple shows left.
Okay.
Friday, October 7th is Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin.
Okay.
Saturday, October 8th is Gaslight Anthem, whoever they are.
No idea.
And then July 15th, I don't know what this is, Matchbox 20. But I don't know why we got July 15th shows.
Maybe that's next year, July 15th. Who knows?
It might be. And then on the St. George Theater on Staten Island.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Well, that they have some people.
Yeah, they have shows. I got you.
Okay.
Cheap Tricks played there. They've had some big band.
Yeah.
UFO played there.
That we have Disco Fever on Saturday, September 15th. Guys and Dolls. The Godfather movie screening with Gianni Russo. Gianni Russo on October 9th. That's a Sunday. Blue Oyster Cult.
Wow.
Masters of Illusion, a Rocky Horror Picture Show, Yellow Brick Road, Elton John Tribute, The Rascals. Anthony Rodia. He made some videos on what the fuck on YouTube and shit. He's kind of funny.
Okay.
Free sing along. TKA. Did you ever hear of TKA?
Nope.
I did. They're a fucking you've heard their songs, you didn't even know it.
Okay.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, A Christmas Story. One that I'm going to, Eric D'Alessandro. I don't know what he does. He's a comedian.
Oh yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him on TV. I've never seen his act, but I've seen him interviewed.
So the St. George Theater Christmas Show.
Nice.
Darlene Love Christmas.
There you go.
Baby Shark Live. Wizards of Winter. Okay. The Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Experience. And then we wind up all of this on Sunday, February 12th. You want to take a guess who it is? 4 p.m. early show, Tom.
Leonard Anthony.
No. Blues, Clues, and You. All right. So now you tell me, is Rock dead? Because I can't find a show anywhere.
Yeah, well. Again, I won't argue it at this point. I mean, with the stuff I'm hearing and seeing, there's a few bands left, but boy, oh boy, I don't know. I did not see anything this summer. I know Maiden's done a bunch of stuff out there, and Priest has come out with some stuff, but anything new, I haven't seen it. So that's for sure. But we're going to call this one a night. I got a couple other things, but I'll hold them in my pocket till next week. We'll talk more football, of course. And we'll be back next Thursday night, Jeff and I, for the September 22nd show right here. So, Jeff, congratulations on your new gig with the Remorons. Good guys. I'm looking forward to seeing it and hearing it. I'm going to be the first guy shocked when my buddy's up there playing Ramones, but hey, as long as he's up there playing, I'm
yeah. Oh, just now, more breaking news. It looks as though that the September 24th show at Juicy Lucy has been canceled.
Come on.
That's serious, bro.
You're just getting that information now?
Getting it right now as we speak. I'm answering him right back.
Wow. Are you? It doesn't sound like you're surprised.
No, I'm not surprised because the other guitar player in all of this, I don't want to mention names, but he was a real fucking dick and just made life difficult. So it has been called.
Canceled. Boy. All right. Well, that's I have to change my plan. Well, I was trying to, Paul and I think we're trying to get there to go to see that together. So
yeah, I'm going to have to let Paul know that this was canceled.
All right. Well, we'll have to just look forward to the Remorons in December, on December 30th.
That makes two of us.
We'll have to look forward to that. And
you know what really sucks? I really put a lot of effort into this shit.
I'm sure you did. It won't be for naught. You'll at least have some new songs under your belt and relearn some old ones. So good for you. But Jeff, I'll give you the last word tonight before we close this one out a little early. But I got some husbandly duties to take care of.
Oh yeah.
Not that kind of husband duties, unfortunately.
I was going to say, man, let's broadcast this.
No, I don't think anybody want to see that. But Jeff, great show, a lot of fun. Good contact. Never dull moment, and I love doing this. But I'll give you the final word.
Listen, rest easy, little Pico. I'm sorry, Tom. To you and Edie, and maybe somewhere along the line when you guys are thinking differently, maybe you'll want to get somebody else in the house to fill the void. But you know what? No matter whatever happens, you'll never forget them. And tonight was a good show, good night. We introduced a new scented Earl. Do we call this oil or Earl?
I like Earl, and I know we'll have to throw up on the thread. We have to pick a name for it. Mike Weissman threw out a few names, and that jumped off the table at me. But I think it's a good way to get started.
Yeah, and we'll have a little fun with it, making a name, and listen, it is what it is.
You're gonna have your own line of beard care products, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go. Our own line of beard care.
Our own, but you're the beard guy. But yeah, I'll be purchasing some for the for some people that I know who have the beard. So, but listen, lots of fun. Thanks to my dad for coming on with us. Thanks to the guys at Hemp Wizard Beard Care Co. Those guys are fantastic, Joe and Mike, and they're supporters of our show. And we're big supporters of what they do, and I appreciate them making Jeff look as spiffy and clean as he does. So.
There you go, man. I am fucking handsome as a motherfucker with that.
There it is. So, but listen, guys, have a great rest of your night, a great rest of the week, a good weekend, and a great week. Both Jeff and I will see you here next Thursday night when we do this all over again, and look forward to doing it as I always do. And remember, this Sunday, the Sunday Audible Week 2 with John and myself, and hopefully Jeff will pop in at some point, and Rafael Esparza, 9 o'clock this Sunday morning. So make sure you tune over to the Sunday Audible. But come on back next Thursday when Jeff and myself get together. We do this all over again. So for Jeff Dolwinski, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rock and Sports, thank you for indulging me tonight. Rest easy, my boy Pico. And please, guys, everybody have a great, safe weekend. And if you got a pet out there, go out there and give them a putt. Go give them a kiss on the head and maybe an extra treat. That's all.
All right,
I'll catch you off the air, pal.
Later, dude.
Later, dude.
Bye.
Stay and the broadcast. And